That was all on record.
I'll delete that.
What record?
But yeah, okay. This is Owlcast episode 6. I'm here with Basil, Farooq, and Samah, Shaiq from the Senate board. Basil is a senator, and Samah is the VP of Senate in ASFC. And we're here to talk about some of their interests and their perspective as a football student. They're studying football as a Foothill student. So let's start with Samah. Since are you gonna head out early?
Yes.
You say? Okay, so we'll start with Samah. So this is your second year, right? How's your experience at Foothill been so far? We'll just start with that.
It's been good. I came to Foothill thinking I wasn't gonna really like it because most people from my school didn't go to community college, but I made a lot of friends here, and I've learned that it's a really nice place to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would
you say there was like a stigma coming out of your high school?
Oh yeah, I think
any community college.
I think any. I don't want to speak for every high school, but most high schools in the Bay Area, especially like Silicon Valley, and I mean I come from Fremont, so it's technically not Silicon Valley, but like it's still really competitive over there, and I think that there is a stigma like attached to going to community college, or even like the school you go to. If it's a 4-year, like if it's not a top ranking UC, there's definitely a stigma attached.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think from my high school too, from Gunn and these high schools around here, there's definitely a stigma. And it's hard to make that decision. But would you say that you're glad that you came here before?
Yeah.
It's a good place to like ground yourself, right?
I think.
Figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I got into a few schools that I felt like if I went, I would just be settling, and I'm glad that I didn't settle, and that I'm coming to Foothill and like. It's basically it's like a second chance to get into a way better school that you'll be happier at, and you save money on the way too, which is like not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, a lot of people, we just had campus council, and someone mentioned that like Foothill is sometimes seen as like a redemption school. So like if you don't get in the first time, you can come here and kind of reset a bit and figure out what you want to do, and then apply to other schools and maybe get into a better school. I think that's like one narrative of Foothill. I think there's another narrative of Foothill as a place to kind of just ground yourself, and some people just aren't ready. So it's not that they didn't get into schools that were of their standard, I guess, or of what they were like very prestigious schools out of high school, and it wasn't like they're not settling, but it's maybe that I'm just kind of rambling, but that they just didn't know, they weren't ready for college, and then they came back. That was kind of like me. I wasn't super ready for college, so I went off and then came back. But thank you for answering that. Let's ask Basil now. How about you? How's your experience at Foothill so far?
It's been pretty good. I mean, I would say it was a very good decision to come to Foothill rather than trying to go to a 4-year. I didn't even apply to 4 years because I couldn't when I came here. But I think it was a good decision because, as you were saying, it gives you a solid base. When you're doing your lower divisions, you want to have professors you can talk to, you can relate to. You want to have office hours where you're talking to the actual professor, not to a TA or something. Exactly. And professors are focused on the students there. When you're at a 4-year, professors care about their grad students more than their undergrad students. So I guess Foothill's given me a very strong foundation on all the things I need for operatives. So I honestly think it's been a great experience. Also, if I went to a 4-year, I probably wouldn't have joined student government or anything like that.
No, same here.
Because it would have been too intimidating. It's like it's like this huge institution. It's it's well known worldwide, and there are people there who have been there for 5 years, 6 years, like grad students and undergrads who are like seniors who are running the show, and who are you, a freshman, just walking in? So
and also guys, feel free to like just talk whenever, if you have like a question or something. It's not like me interviewing you guys too, so it's just like a free-flowing conversation. But yeah, thank you for that answer. Did you guys do student government in high school?
Nope.
Yeah.
No? You did? Okay.
It was funny because like in my friend group, I was the only one that wasn't in our student government.
Really?
And it was because I think they came from families where like their siblings did and stuff, and so at first I wasn't even interested, and then
That's a very motivated friend group and very ambitious.
Well, it was funny because like we didn't even. It's not like they hung out because they're in student government. It was kind of just like we ended up hanging out together, and like I feel like it was midway through the year when like someone was like, dude, you're the only one that's never at our meetings because you're not in student government. I was like, yeah. And then I remember thinking like, oh, maybe I should join. And I went to like one of their meetings and it was so much drama. Like it was basically like their advisor like was sitting in a corner. Like I felt like he was scared of the class. Like I felt like he was like it was like the lions and like the prey. Like he's just sitting, like the weak prey sitting there. Like all these like the higher people and like I don't want to like make it sound like it was like a gender thing, but I felt like the girls were like way too much. Like they were too like, I don't want to say power hungry, but like I felt like they were trying to get everything done themselves. Like there was like these 3 girls. One was the president, and then 2 were just like normal.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say they were like oppressed or something.
No.
It was reversed. They were like
yeah. So like there was
asserting themselves. Maybe too much.
I mean, it was like a pretty evenly split class of guys and girls, but like there was 3, like the president and then these 2 other girls that were in there, and like they like oppressed everyone else.
Really?
Like if anyone had an idea, this is just the one meeting I went to. If anyone had an idea that they thought wasn't like good, it was like thrown away. And like I kind of just was like, okay, I'm not gonna join next year. And like, it wasn't a democracy. It was weird, but like,
I mean, high school student government is probably hard to like.
It's hard to like get stuff done.
That's true.
And then also, like people are less mature, so like and a lot of times, like in a lot of schools, being in ASB or student government, it's like a popularity thing. So like they're not there for the right reasons, and so like I think that whole thing was just a mess.
And I think that's also something that's kind of special about Foothill is our student government whole setup is not as big of a popularity contest. It's not as competitive or as intimidating for somebody who's is fresh out of high school, who wants to do something in the community, something in the college, but not necessarily for just being popular or something like that. So it's a very good first step for anyone who wants to get into leadership. Yeah, there's definitely like less incentives, like, oh, I just want to do it to be popular thing. I actually did it because I wanted to make friends. And like I had never done student government. I was like, okay, these people have similar mindsets to me. I think they seem to be a pretty fun group. I talked to a friend. I talked to Ibrahim, who was here last quarter, and I mentioned that Asha actually got me into student government. She was she just mentioned, she was like, oh, she texted me one day like, are you going to do student government? And I never even thought about that. So I was like, no, why? Like, are you? And then she was like, yeah, like here's like a link to the page and stuff. So I started doing a little bit of research, and then I mentioned to Ibrahim one day, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do student government. And he said, yeah, like those people seem like really motivated. And the big man, Anurag Shrestha, just walked in, biggest man on campus. And shout out. We'll be featuring him next quarter sometime. I'm holding you to that. And then, so he was like, yeah, those are good people. So I joined, but it's been like so much more than just like making friends. I've like met some awesome people. But it's like, you actually like it can have an impact, and like I think it really enriches your college experience. And like, you feel free to like interrupt me whenever.
And like it gives you a sense of like you have a group. Like for me, my first quarter here, because no one from my high school went here. I literally didn't know anyone on Foothill campus my first week of school.
No one, like 0 people.
No, like 0
what
people.
High school did you go to?
Irvington High School in Fremont, California, which is like the best city in the world. I didn't know a single person here, and so like my first week of school, it was super awkward. Like I went into class, my first class was poli-sci 1, and like I felt like the new kid at a high school where like everyone's talking to each other, and then I was like just sitting in the corner, like didn't talk to anybody.
You for getting a comfort zone.
I mean like I'm also a poli-sci major, so I was like I put 2 and 2 together. I was like I should just do student government because like I like politics and like I want to meet people, and so like that's like the best decision I made.
And you're glad you did it.
I'm so glad I did it.
No one from my high school is at Foothill.
Where did you go to high school, Michelle?
I went to high school very far away.
How far away?
Like 2 cities away.
Like in California, down in LA.
A couple thousand miles from here.
Oh man, so across East Coast, right?
Yeah, across
like North
the
America?
East of the globe.
The Middle East, maybe?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wow. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Tell us about your high school experience and kind of coming to America. I mean, have you, this is your first time in America? I know your family moved here, right? But have you visited America before? Have you lived in America?
So I grew up in Dubai, and I went to high school there. First time I visited the U.S. was a year before I moved here. And so when I moved here...
Where did you visit?
I visited here because...
Like the Bay Area?
Bay Area.
Okay.
My uncle lives a 5 blocks from
Were
where
you
I live
always
right now.
planning to move over here after high school?
I was planning on moving here eventually, but I
Okay.
didn't know I was going to move after high school.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, when I moved here, it was a pretty tough transition because there was a lot of things that changed. I was straight out of high school. I was a couple years younger than most people who graduate high school. I was moving to a different country, different culture, going from high school to college. I knew nobody in the Bay Area except for like one or two people who I had met a year earlier.
Yeah.
But I think coming to Foothill, because it's a smaller school, there's smaller classes. It's not as intimidating to be more social, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's easier to come out of your comfort zone and when it's not as discomforting, I guess, as when you're at a UC or a CSU or a big 4-year. It's harder to come out of your comfort zone, especially for someone like me who's super introverted. So
introverted, but you're not antisocial. Like I would not have guessed you were introverted until you told me, because you're a very social guy.
So I mean, introverted doesn't mean.
But it doesn't mean. Yeah, I guess it's about like energy that you give off or get from other people.
Exactly. So I mean, I consider myself introverted because every now and then I need time by myself to recharge and re-energize, while extroverted people get energized when they're in groups.
Yeah, they get energy from other people, right? Yeah. I'm not extroverted. I'm the exact same way.
I don't know how do people describe themselves as introvert, extrovert?
Yeah.
I feel like there's times I can be both.
Oh yeah, no. I think it's hard to.
It's not even
black
like
and white.
it's not black and white. It's the grays. You
Yeah.
could be in the middle. You could be like super extrovert
There's
or
a
super
mixture.
introvert or not as much. There's all these psychological tests and stuff you can do to find out how much you are on which side of the scale. But I mean, it's all relative.
Yeah, absolutely. I going back to like what you said about like coming to America, that sounds like super scary. Like I would be
especially
terrified.
like
Oh
in
my
this
gosh,
time,
just thinking about that.
Like
Yeah,
when
like, when you
immigrants
only have
aren't even
two
feeling
people,
welcome.
especially in this time.
Yeah.
But like even just coming when you don't know anyone, and then I think university is interesting. I think there are different dynamics going to different types of university, different sizes, and different like community college versus a 4-year. And I think like you kind of hinted at it, but like there are certain situations here where you don't really have to be super extroverted and like very assertive and very put yourself out there all the time. There are like natural situations where you will start to meet people and like make friends. For example, doing clubs, doing groups, doing things like student government. Like you'll naturally form bonds with people without having to put a lot of like not superficial, like extra effort. You know what I mean? But like maybe at a 4-year where you're in a big lecture hall, you might have to assert yourself more, and that like the responsibility of making friends is more on you rather than like the environments that you put yourself in. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
And I think Foothill's a good place to like to just like make friends naturally almost. Yeah.
I mean, the friends I've made at Foothill, I mean, they're probably going to be some of the best friends I'll have through my life.
Am I part of that? Oh my god! Beautiful moment. I wish we had the video.
You're still on the pending list.
Oh.
I'm just messing with you.
He's a list.
The pending list. I'm buffering.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, but tell us about like that transition. What was that like? Like just first day of class. Like how did you feel? I guess that's like a big question. I know. I don't know if you remember
first day of class. I remember.
What did you expect?
No, I didn't. I don't even know what I wanted to expect or what I was expecting. But even more than what I was expecting, it was just different. I didn't know what to expect. So I walked into class and I remember it was just like a very different thing, obviously because coming from high school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And high school in a different country.
Yeah.
And high school in a very different environment too.
Can you talk about that high school environment a bit too? I think that's definitely
very relevant.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a very conservative, very religious family, and I went to religious school growing up. So it was a boys' school. It was very religious.
Yeah. Was it a big school, small school?
It was pretty big. I mean, it was K through 12 all in one school.
Oh, okay.
So altogether we had, I don't know, 4,000 students.
Oh, wow.
It was a big private school in Dubai.
Okay.
And I mean, it was very different from anything here.
Is the structure like the same idea? Like you go to school from, I don't know, like like 9 to 3, and then you go home, you have some homework? Is that like the same kind of flow?
Yeah,
the same
everything else
routine?
is the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we had school from 7 to 2.
Yeah.
We went to school in the morning, we came back home at night.
And what do most of your classmates, like, what did they do after high school?
So most of my classmates are in university in Dubai. So there's one, it's called the American University. And
Is it
Nice.
American? Or
Very original.
it is
name.
American.
yeah.
So
There's an American University in DC too. Same one.
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know. So they're all at the American University. I have a couple of friends who moved to the US. I have 2 in Arizona State.
Yeah.
One is in Virginia somewhere. And look who just walked
Sonia
in.
just walked in. Another senator. The whole gang is here. But yeah.
So yeah, but most of my classmates are still there, and
Wow. Is that like what people normally do? Like, were you thinking about going to the American University also, or
I wasn't.
is it wild to like go to the U.S. from kind of where you're from?
No, it isn't. My dad went to school in New York too. My uncles went to school here and in the Bay Area 20 years ago. So most of my family came to the U.S. to go to school anyways. From my family, it wasn't something weird to go to the U.S., but where I was, it was because it was very expensive for people to come here, especially as international students. I was lucky because my family immigrated here and I was a domestic student.
Oh,
so
nice.
I don't have to go through the struggles of paying 5 times the fees and all that kind of stuff.
And a lot of schools don't offer financial aid to international
Exactly,
students, which
yeah.
is really tough.
So, I mean...
What are you laughing at, Sonia? Get out of here. We're also having Sonia Beckstrom next quarter. I'm holding that to her until next quarter, yes. Yeah.
The quarter she's not
next
here.
quarter. Emphasis on the next.
She's gonna disappear.
Okay, I'm next.
Yeah.
I'll come on next quarter.
Next quarter.
She's got an interesting life.
Daniel,
sports. So many people have interesting lives. You would not.
Dude,
Yeah,
sports
Anurag has an
mentality.
interesting life too.
Sports
Sports
mentality.
mentality,
Yeah.
and, like,
That's a big thing.
Oh,
Ibrahim's very into it too. Judo too. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about that. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, I'm mumbling.
It's not just about me. She's here
Yeah,
too.
no, I was just about to say, Samah, how was your first day at Foothill? I mean, you kind of
At
mentioned it a little
Foothill?
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny because when you get here, you think you're the only one that's confused, and like a quarter in, you realize everyone was confused. But like,
That's a good point.
it looks like everyone knows what they're doing, and like to
Yeah.
me, that was it. Like I thought I was the only one that was confused. Like my first day, I walked in the wrong room, and like I realized it before the class started, but like I just didn't know. I was like, I read the 6 as a 9 or something, and like. I walked in the wrong room basically, and like I sat in there for like 5 minutes, and then I realized like it was the wrong class.
Quarter, actually.
Yeah,
It was
well
kind of
that's embarrassing. That's
Okay.
your second quarter in.
No,
This is my
to
first
be
day
fair,
of college.
I was told the wrong room, so it wasn't like a confused as 6 and 9. It wasn't like
Not
that.
a math major.
Oh my god. Yeah, me neither, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's like everybody always thinks that they're the only one that doesn't know what's going on, and then
It's comforting to. It's hard to realize that other people are going through.
like
something.
I wish that was made more like known. Like I wish people like friends of mine that were in college.
Sorry. It's all going down the wrong goal. I'm good.
Sean's dying. Somebody call
Yeah,
911.
my voice is just killing him.
No.
Yeah, basically.
She's too imposing.
No, yeah.
Suffocating Sean.
VP of Senate in your presence is just making me so nervous. I want to please you. Okay, that sounded.
Rewind.
Yeah, we're gonna
Rewind.
have to delete that. I don't know.
Make it part of the bloopers.
But I was looking for. I'm still looking for that word. I don't know.
Okay, let's
It's been a long
move
week.
on.
But yeah, I agree. I think knowing that other people like just the first weeks of college, it's not just like you're confused about
there's,
rooms and
like-
stuff. It's like
There's so much
there's,
that like
like,
people don't
friends.
tell you.
yeah.
And like I would like to me, I wish someone would have told me that. So like for me, if I know people in high school now, I'm gonna definitely be like telling them stuff that they should know
Yeah.
about because
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
yeah.
stuff people should have been telling me.
I know. It's like you don't want this. Like you've been through it, so you don't want your friends or like people after you to experience it too. But sometimes you do have to experience things to learn from it. You can't just like take advice from everyone on everything.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, that's just like hard. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if people were more, it's hard to be open though about struggling like your first quarter in college or something. I definitely had a hard time doing that. I think it just goes to show that people seem like on the outside that they're very they got their shit together, but in reality
they're falling apart.
Yeah, you can kind of bond over that.
Yeah.
When you start, no one's shit is together.
Yeah. I mean, I think throughout life, it's very rare to find someone who's got
I wish
together.
people would be just more willing to share that stuff, because like I feel like people could. Like that's
it's hard though. It's hard.
Well, it's so good for you though. If you're one of those people that like is struggling, it's good to like be able to connect with people who are also struggling in like similar different ways.
But when you're like
it's hard to go through that kind of stuff on your own.
You feel very, very vulnerable and very
No, like it's definitely hard. I just wish that there was a way to get people to do it, to make them feel more comfortable, because like it's too hard to go through that stuff alone. Like for me, like this is the first quarter of this year that I'm struggling in a class. Like my fall quarter was very easy, and like I'm struggling in an econ class, and like for a while I thought I was the only one struggling, because we see like the scores and everyone's doing so great, and I'm like, everyone looks like they understand, and then recently I found out that there's like 6 people that sit around me who are also very confused and don't know what's going on, and I didn't know that, and so now like for the final we're gonna study together, but we could have been doing that for the last 4 quizzes. So like it's like you find out these things way too late, and then by then everyone's just been struggling by themselves.
There's a life lesson in every turn. It's a pity they can't see us.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm glad they can't. It would be a lot different. We seem semi-professional, at least right now.
Of course we are.
But yeah, we are.
I'm completely professional. I don't know about you guys.
Let's talk about sports. I know Anurag is a big sports guy. He's not in this one, but he's sitting right there. But Samah, you played soccer.
Yeah.
How was that for you? What do you think you gained anything
for me?
from that
Okay, soccer is kind of like not emotional, but it's like a part of my life that like I don't know how to feel about it, because I've been playing it for like okay, I started playing it when I was 7. I started playing it when I was 7, and I stopped my senior year. Like the senior year was my last year that I played it. So I played it for like a majority of my life, and I like when I started I really liked it. When I was 7 years old,
time. That's good.
I mean, it wasn't competitive, obviously,
no, but still,
back then. Yeah, I mean, like, because my cousins played it, and my uncle was a coach, so, like, and my uncle in Pakistan actually produces World Cup soccer balls, which is fun fact. It's very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like
he owns the factory.
Wait, what's it?
Sialkot is a city in northern Pakistan.
Yeah. You knew the city?
Yes.
Because
I'm from Pakistan.
That's true, but like
I know where they make soccer balls.
Oh, you know where they make soccer balls. That's what I was
my uncle owns. So basically, like my uncle owns that factory, and when I was younger, I've only been to Pakistan once in my life, and I was really young. I was like 8 years old, and like I got to like he like let me make the mold with my hands, and it was like super cool, and like I got to take it. I mean, it was kind of deformed when I took it home, but I was like I was 8 years old. What did you
had practice?
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I was 8 years, but like it was like super cool for me, and like. Please, this is PG. Stop. Oh yeah, so like I started playing
whatever rating you want, like freedom of speech, man. This could be rated R.
I started playing when I was really young, but like I think after middle school, I don't know how I started feeling about it. Like it started becoming more of a chore for me. Like I only stayed in it because my mom was like, "You already play, like you've been playing for so long. You should just continue in high school." And like. I did, and then it was fun for like 2 years, and I think the competitiveness got to me, and like I wouldn't consider myself like all-star player. Like I wasn't like the best player on the team. I wasn't the worst either. I was just in the middle, and like for me it was like I felt like the fun was like being taken out of the game.
That's super interesting.
And like the last 2 years I played it, I don't really know why I played it. Like
was it more
I was dreading going to like practices and stuff. Like I had a really like not oppressive coach, but like he made me feel like shit about myself.
A lot of pressure, yeah.
Yeah, and like I didn't like it, and like I think I think that team brought down my self-esteem a lot, and I think that's why I don't play anymore.
Yeah, sports can like either be kind of make or like all or nothing. Like you can either if you're doing really well, you have a really supportive group, I think you can get a lot of mental gain out of it, a lot of like character growth. But then again, if you're in a caustic environment, it can be harmful. I had a similar experience junior year with like a super competitive team, and I just wasn't mentally prepared for it. I think if I was mentally prepared, I would have got a lot more out of it. But I took a lot of the criticism from either my coaches or my teammates personally, or I didn't take it well, and I didn't know how to handle it. So, so I ended up leaving, and I needed to because it just was not a good environment for me.
And it sucked because I don't know about other high schools, but in my high school, like girls sports weren't like paid attention to as much. Like our varsity team versus the guys' varsity team, like they had like a huge crowd, and like we were lucky if our parents came. Yeah. And like it was super like. I'm
surprised the boys had a huge crowd too, because a lot of high school soccer in Northern California is not.
Yeah. Well, our varsity.
Soccer in the U.S.
It's soccer in general.
Our
too,
varsity. That's because like we were our teams were pretty good. Like we made it to like NCL like every year, but like. Yeah. I don't know, like...
And it doesn't suck. The viewership sucks.
Well, okay, think about it this way. If you have a sports team that's doing well...
MLS is definitely growing.
Yeah, people will go... Like, our football team stopped getting people going to their games their senior because they weren't doing well. So, like, nobody's going to go watch a team that loses all the time. So, like, our boys' soccer team...
What about school spirit?
Our boys' soccer team was winning, so they were going to their games and not, like...
Wow, these bunch of bandwagoners over at...
It's the same school. It's just a different sport.
What can we say Fremont over Fremont?
What can we say?
Well, our girls' team wasn't great, but people weren't coming because we're girls, and like people just didn't.
No, that's definitely an issue.
They didn't take us as serious. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think there's a gap. I mean,
like the Women's World Cup, like America won, and no one. It was barely in the news. But when the men's team made like 10th place, it was like everywhere. I was like, "Are you serious? Are you for real?" Like
the women get paid a lot less than. I'm pretty sure the women don't get paid anything for a loss or something like that. Something ridiculously low. And the men's team, even when they lose, I think they get more than don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they get more than the women when they win.
Probably.
It's just like a huge wage gap in that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And I don't know if that's that might be related to like how many people go watch the games too. So it's like a multi-level problem, I think.
Yeah.
So what position?
On TV too, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the number of people
and people just don't watch if it's women's. Like less people watch.
See, Sonia, we need you on this. Next week, how about let's change week to quarter.
So, what position did you play?
I was right midfield. When I was younger, I was a striker though. Yeah. I was so, physically whatever, but I was really like fit in high school. And now Sonia and I went to Mission Peak, which is like a hike in Fremont, and I was struggling to do it. I didn't make it to the top. And from where I've come since my senior year to now, it's only been 2 years, but I actually feel really shitty about myself now.
Physical exercise is so important.
It's so much because I went from running 8 miles a day and doing sprints to I eat French fries 5 times a week.
It's okay. You like French fries?
I know, but I don't exercise, and it's crazy. I hated soccer for that reason, but it also it was so good for me.
Makes your body feel good.
I being able to run that much, having that stamina. People usually can't do that, and I was so proud to be able to do that, and now I can't.
Awesome. I think sports are so not just physical though. Sports are so good for the mind.
Yeah.
Just working out and pushing yourself, especially if you do it weekly. You're always pushing yourself. I know a lot of people who say lifting heavy weights in the morning is one of the best things you can do, because if you get the hardest part of your day done in the morning. You're deadlifting or doing compound or whatever exercise. It doesn't have to be weightlifting and all macho or whatever. Maybe you're sprinting. But if you're pushing yourself to your limits in the morning, everything the rest of the day is going to seem easy or easier.
I like doing it at night because then I sleep good.
Or night, that's true, because then you just gas yourself.
I can't do that because
I get endorphins. I do my homework and then I
endorphins. Yeah.
I'm too scared to run at night. My neighborhood's not 100%.
Fremont.
It's not Fremont. It's an anything thing.
Fremont.
Anywhere.
The population's going to decline after this podcast.
What, from 280,000?
280,000?
It's
wow.
260.
Isn't Fremont, half of Fremont's built on the ocean, the bay.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
We have a bridge. We have the DeBarton Bridge.
No, they filled it in.
Palo Alto too.
Yeah, there's a lot of artificial land because they needed to make more houses. Fremont built
housing
on bay.
Well,
on the
it's
side.
funny because like all the jobs are here, but everyone lives in Fremont.
It's
Like
cheaper.
coming here from Fremont is terrible because everyone works in Silicon Valley. Like the traffic on 237 is like the worst traffic I've faced.
Oh yeah.
Like okay, the interchange from 880 to 237, I feel like is the worst traffic in the Bay Area. Like I
880
can't.
goes under the bay, around like under.
880 is
Well, how do you go
An
under the
interstate.
bay?
It goes to not under, no, below the bay. It goes around San
is
Jose,
it-
loops up, not under.
yeah,
It's not like
yeah.
the
No,
English
I get what
Channel.
you're
it
saying.
goes
I
to
get what
the
you're
right
saying.
of
Yeah.
the bay, not under.
Yeah, it
So,
goes
like-
to the right. And
like-
then
it just keeps going.
What goes under?
SF
580.
to yeah. So 680 turns into 580.
680.
280. 680 becomes
No,
280.
it comes 280. Okay, going this way
They
becomes
can't see your hands.
My sense of direction.
coming south it turns into 280. Going north it turns into 580. Like it merges into
Oh.
580. Yeah, like
What about the Dunbar? Don't you take that?
I don't take that,
Dunbar
but you can't.
smells
So
terrible.
like that's like the 101 area.
Yeah, isn't that faster though? For you? Isn't
Not
that more
for-
direct? Isn't that like links up to Fremont?
Well,
and you
number
follow
one, you
up
have to pay like $6 for the
Really?
because it's a bridge, so you have to pay that, and then also there's a lot more traffic there because it goes up,
Yeah.
and so like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
wind
yeah.
pushes against it, so all the cars just like take forever, and like
what
it's
the heck?
super
They get
backed
pushed
up.
into
The
you.
wind.
No, I actually
The wind
think it's.
slows
I
the
think
traffic down.
the wind is part of the reason for the
Put
traffic.
some windshields up there.
Because people start driving slower.
Big
'cause
windshield for all those smaller windshields.
We should have an umbrella or
A
something.
meta windshield. That's a terrible joke.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's segue into Basil. Let's talk about your experience with sports. You just started doing judo recently, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
but
what got you into
even
that?
before
that,
judo.
let's talk about before that.
Funny story is my sports life has been the opposite of Samah's. When I was younger, I was the last person chosen on teams
Oh man.
until the until the 6th grade. I
Mhm.
sucked at every sport.
Okay, just because you didn't play it much, or you just?
I didn't know I was good. I just took whatever. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I would just play whenever people would ask me to play.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I wouldn't be too good. 7th grade, I tried out for a basketball team. The coach said, if you train properly, you can become a good player.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, I'll train with you guys. He didn't let me play much in the 7th grade, but by the time I got to the 8th grade, I started playing basketball once in a while. And then I got to the bench when I was in high school.
Mhm.
I would be on the bench a lot for the basketball team.
Making progress.
Yeah, that's a start.
That's a good start. I
That
know.
is a good start.
But you do need to keep in mind this was the bench for basketball in Dubai, not in the US. It's a big difference. Right? Keep that in mind. I mean, I'm not saying basketball sucked there, but it wasn't
But you're
anything
saying it
amazing.
sucked there.
Yes, sort of.
I'm just kidding.
So I got that far in basketball, and I started playing soccer a lot more with my friends because obviously soccer is what everybody plays, and soccer is
Was soccer the main sport in Dubai?
Soccer is what everyone plays.
Yeah.
Like no one
In
plays
the rest of
anything
the world.
In the rest of the world, any
out
place that
soccer.
isn't the U.S.
Yeah.
Everyone plays soccer. So I started playing a lot more soccer, and I got better, and I started playing in. So when I was younger, the most beautiful position that anyone could dream of was being striker because you're scoring all the
Yeah,
goals.
You get the glory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was probably part of the reason why I was never discovered as someone who can play soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I started playing seriously, I found out that I'm a defender.
Mm-hmm.
And I played right back for 2 years for my high school team, and there I used to start.
Yeah.
So-
hey, there
Hey,
you
the
go.
right side though.
You
That's the
run
good
through.
side.
I'm lefty actually.
Oh, I hate
I do
playing
like the right
the
side.
left.
Though. You can cut in and shoot.
I can't do the left. Like
Winger, right
I,
wing's fun.
I used to
I
play
can't.
sometimes when
You can cut in and shoot.
when our left winger was out.
It's like Messi.
I would play on the left because we had two good right backs.
Yeah.
But we only had one good left back. If he was
It's
out,
hard to
one of
find a
us
good
had to
left
play
back.
the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Left backs are hard to come by.
So that's kind of where my sports interest started from. Because once I saw that I could do sports, and if I trained, I would get better. I started becoming more serious about soccer. I kind of sidelined basketball because I was on the bench and I wasn't the tallest
So
person.
basketball sideline you and you sideline them back.
yeah.
I did.
That's the way to
Yeah.
go.
That's the way to go. And I wasn't the tallest person in the world,
Yeah.
so I didn't even have a big advantage there. So I focused on soccer until I moved here.
Mm-hmm.
When soccer I've played soccer twice since I moved here 2 years ago.
Really? Just like casually.
Like
Twice.
casually, just
Fun.
twice.
In any
That's
form,
more than
in any
me.
way, shape,
That's
or-
more than me in the past year.
I want to play soccer again
Sunday.
because
Yeah. Pick up on Sunday. Yeah, let's start it. We should
We
get
should.
a little
We should. I'm down.
So I'm
She can come with
you
us.
Can come
Yeah.
ref.
Ref.
Oh my god.
I'm down.
I mean, in your current physical state.
Reffing has a lot of
Yeah, in my
so,
current physical state, I think refereeing is my best
You could just be the water girl.
option. Huh?
Oh, God, don't even go there.
That's my role.
So yeah, I also played some table tennis.
Actually, we should play.
I
love
know.
it.
Okay, I know these two girls who like professionally table tennis, and I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
it's
girl
a
at
big
Palo Alto High
thing.
School who went to the Olympics.
Like in Cupertino, apparently that's like a huge thing.
There's this Milpitas kid. He's 16 years old in Milpitas High
Uh-huh.
School. He went to the past Olympic Games.
Yeah, a girl from
Oh.
Palo
Wait,
went to the
Pal-
Olympics too.
Ping pong is a
Yes,
It's an Olympic
my
sport.
gosh.
what?
The
No
Chinese
way.
dominated.
They did cut some.
The
Olympic
Chinese always
sports,
get the
though.
3 medals in men's, women's, and doubles, and
Yeah.
mixed doubles. And
Wait, they have a
nothing has mixed
separate for
doubles.
men's and women's?
Yeah,
Yes. Wait. Yes. Yes, they do.
yeah, they do.
I think most sports are split up, men's and
No, I know
women's.
most sports are, but I didn't
Almost
think
I don't think there's
I
any
didn't
sports
think-
that's
Yeah.
co-ed.
Are there?
water polo.
Yeah, the Olympics is interesting.
No.
They cut.
Swimming. Well, no,
Did
swimming's
you
not
know
teams.
they cut wrestling for a little bit? I think it's back now, but they had to trim
No,
down
they
certain
had
sports.
wrestling this past.
They had
year.
it this past one, but I think before there was like some controversy because they cut it. This was like in the 4-year hiatus between Olympics. The Olympic committee, the committee that like chooses which sports to have, they had to cut some sports and they cut wrestling out, which is like crazy. Wrestling is like such a ancient sport. Like the Greeks and the Romans were doing that. But it's back, so we're good.
There's also golf coming to the Olympics next time around.
It wasn't in there before.
No.
Oh.
Samah, you really do not
I
watch
mean,
this.
I don't.
You didn't
No,
know
I really
ping
I
pong
don't
was
really
in
watch
it,
much
and you
either.
don't. You thought golf was in it instead of.
I don't
ping
watch
pong?
Olympics at all. Actually, like, I think the only Olympics I watched this year were like the gymnastics one because everyone was talking about.
Gymnastics is always good.
Ooh.
What's her
Simone
name?
Biles.
Yeah, everyone was talking
Biles.
about her, so I was watching her, but that's it.
Yeah. Dude, she went ham.
She's really good.
So athletic.
You guys see the meme where
she
she's
can
like,
probably dunk, dude.
spins
I feel like
into
she
a
could
track.
probably like carry all of us at once. Like she's so strong.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ping
So
pong.
ping pong.
Do you get benched for
The
that? or no?
evolution of this.
No, so I was like I was in the top 3 in my school. First year I played in, so we used to have an annual table tennis tournament at our school.
Yeah.
We had some pretty decent players. I came in 3rd place, and then the guy who came in first graduated that year. So next year I came in 2nd, and then that guy graduated and I came in first my last year
Mhm.
and in high school.
Okay, I see you.
So
That's
and
sweet.
then that was
I
kind of
gotta
like a
play you. You're probably
recreation
so
thing.
Good.
That was like a recreational thing.
Yeah.
I never thought about doing it competitively. And then I took a table tennis class at Foothill last quarter.
Really? Oh, that's so.
And the coach
Classes?
here helped my game improve a lot. I thought I was good. I was shit. I mean, I'm still shit, but I went from being
Shittier.
shitty to shit.
That's all.
Wait, which sport are we talking about now?
Table tennis
Table
still.
Oh my god.
So that's kind
Can
of
we play it? I'm
Yeah,
like
we
so
should.
down.
We should totally
I'm not
do
good
it.
at all, but it's fun.
No, it's
Yeah.
fun.
No,
No, that's the best part about tennis.
Honestly,
You don't have to
I
be
feel
good
like
to play
I get
it.
more exercise just like going to pick up the ball when it falls.
Oh my gosh. The squat, the deadlift.
Yeah.
Yeah, over
The
the
weights
summer.
gains.
I played tons of. There's a table tennis table at my internship, and I would just play like every day for like an hour with some of my friends to de-stress, and like I just eventually got a little bit better. There's this Russian guy who was so good. He wouldn't like move his body at all. Just his wrist. It's just like the flick of the wrist. Oh my gosh. Look at the flick of the wrist. Yeah, and he was so good.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I used to play at my friend's house. He was also my neighbor. He lived 2 houses across. He had a table tennis table in his house,
Oh yeah.
so we used to play every other day.
Yeah. Just
But
playing
when
a lot.
since I moved here, I haven't had access to a table, so I haven't played in
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
So my current sport that I'm working on the most is judo.
Excited about this.
Reason I joined judo was I've always fantasized about doing a martial art.
Mm-hmm.
When I tried to find a place near my house, the closest one was judo. So I joined it.
Quick Google
Great
search, you're
reason.
like, okay, I'm gonna do this. It's good.
Very creative, right?
Yeah, you're decisive.
So I started going there. I started enjoying it more. And then this was 6 months ago. This was after the Olympics were done. And
Is there judo in the Olympics?
judo is in the Olympics. I didn't know until I started going there. Then I rewatched all the judo matches from the last Olympics, and I was just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is like life.
It's so tactical. A lot of people, I think,
Super
martial
tactical.
arts often get like a bad image from people who don't know what they're about. There are a lot of thinking and like
It's very
analysis.
strategic.
It's a mental
It is.
game.
That's
Very
the
strategic,
the
very
point
calculated.
of the point of martial arts is for someone who is physically weaker
Yeah.
to be able to overpower someone who's physically stronger
Yeah.
by using your mind and strategy.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
That's like
That's perfect
Especially
for
grappling.
me.
Like, grappling is
No,
fast.
there's a couple of martial arts that were created by women
Mhm.
because they lived in a very
Oppressive.
patriarchal society,
Mhm.
and so they had to find a way to defend themselves, and they made a whole martial art, which is, I think one of them is one of the Chinese ones. I think Wing Chun. Wing Chun, right? Wing Chun was made by a woman. Yes.
Wow.
Thank
I
you,
feel like
Jason.
that
Shout
should
out
be
to Jason.
publicized more.
Yeah, we never talked about Jason
Contributions
coming
by
in.
women. We need to make
Women's
a list.
History
Women's
Month.
Yeah. Everyone go out to the events on
Hashtag.
Foothill campus.
Hashtag Women's History Month.
Shout
Yeah.
out. Yeah, that's awesome. You've been doing that for 6 months now.
Yeah.
You've done competitions, right? You've done one
I've
competition.
done one competition.
You want
How
to
was
know?
that?
You
Yeah.
You won something, right?
Yeah.
I came in third place out
That's
of 5
great.
people.
So you're better than 2 other people.
I mean,
That's progress.
I was happy I
It is
won a
progress.
match.
Yeah.
So I won a match by what you would call knockout, technically.
I mean,
in judo terms,
yeah.
we use
Knockout.
Japanese terms.
Yeah.
So it's called ippon. Ippon means you have a direct win.
Okay.
So you it's equivalent
Something
to
with a
knockout.
pin, right? Or-
No, so if you throw someone with control and power straight onto their back,
Oh.
you get the win.
So you did that.
I did that.
That's
I was
hard
surprised.
to do, right? Isn't that
I was
hard?
very surprised I did it, and
Yeah.
that's why I was so happy because I was like, I lost.
You're
I
like,
lost two. I lost 3
I did
matches,
that.
but I won one.
Yeah.
and I won it by ippon.
Yeah.
So
Ippon's kind of a big deal, I bet. Because it's not easy to
Pretty cool.
throw someone on their back.
I mean, it's all tactics. It's all
Yeah.
strategy.
Yes.
That's what we learn. That's what we practice.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
That's awesome. That must have been satisfying, like putting what you've learned over like.
It was my
5
last
years.
match too. I was pretty.
I would be.
I was pretty down before that because I'd lost 3 matches in a row. It was my last one. My coach was like, "Don't worry, you can win this one."
Yeah.
I went in, and the first thing you realize when you go into competitive wrestling or judo or anything, you step onto the mat, and your brain stops working.
Yeah.
Your body starts shaking, and
But
you're
you're
like, "What am I
nervous.
doing
Yeah,
here?
yeah, you're like, "Ah,
I should be home
I don't
sleeping."
remember. Yeah. I would just want to go home and curl up into fetal position and rock back and forth. And
Exactly.
nurture myself.
So
Yeah. So the nerves. Let's talk about nerves in sports. Someone, did you get nervous before your big soccer? I mean, obviously.
Yes. Almost every game. Like, unless it was, like, a team that we knew for sure guaranteed win. Like, of
Yeah.
course, and, like, our team, for a while, I liked the coach we had because it was a girl, and she would switch us out. Like, she didn't keep... I mean, the captains always played, but, like, she would switch us out for bench players, and, like, I liked that because you get, like... I was a bench player at one point, and, like, I remember wishing that I could play for, like, 5 minutes. Like, that was great.
Yeah.
And so, like, she would switch us out, like, every so often, and it was... I felt really good
Give people
about...
a chance.
Good for them. But I know, like, coming off the bench and going in, like, that... You'd be like, oh, my God. Like, when you're standing on that halfway mark with the jersey, like, trying to go in, like, I feel like that's when the nerves hit. And, like, I think they would go away once
you start moving,
once you get the ball at least once, and like you know what you're doing, like once you get into the rhythm. But like definitely, like, there's nerves building up. It's like anytime, like, if you're giving a speech, like once you start speaking, the nerves go away because you're in the flow. But like getting
Unless
to
you're
that
really not good at it, like me, like a year ago.
I mean,
I would get way more nervous as I started speaking because I'm like, what the fuck?
But like
am I saying? Why am I
even
saying
while you
this?
were
Oh my gosh,
speaking,
yeah,
until the
I was
end.
terrible.
Yeah,
Oh.
I had
I
some
don't-
experiences with speaking. Yeah.
I mean, I still get
I had to overcome
nervous.
it for sure.
I still get nervous for sure, but I feel like for me at least, once I start speaking, like I don't feel the nerves anymore
Yeah, it
because
just
I
comes
know
with
what
practice.
I'm
The
gonna say.
nerves go away
practice.
once you just do it a lot. I just didn't do it. I didn't put myself in those situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to like. I think
You
like
guys
when
are
you
both
when you have a
speakers.
fear,
I
you
would've-
kind of have to like.
no.
Okay, the whole
I was a
like
crap speaker.
the whole cliche thing about facing your fears. It's so true. Like it's so hard to do, but like. I forced myself to publicly speak. Like, I took a class in
Feels
high
good.
school that I didn't want to do, and
good.
like it helped
Very
me.
mature. I did not do that. I would shy away from things like that. Now I'm finally getting that mindset where like, I'm gonna put myself in uncomfortable positions because it feels good too. It feels like even if you just like completely fuck it up and botch it, like if you put yourself in those situations, like you can feel good about that. So it's like changing your mindset and your attitude towards those stressful things.
Yeah. Like one thing, okay, we were talking about the introvert extrovert thing. Like I don't know what I fall under, but like I feel like I'm pretty awkward in social situations. And like I
will confirm that.
And like nowadays, like
I second that confirmation.
Like if I go to like a party or like a gathering or something and there's like people I don't know, like I try to like force myself to talk to people. Like me and Veronica's here. We
Another person walked into the room.
We went to a luncheon with like a lot of like business people a couple days ago, and like last week I felt super uncomfortable, but like the guy sitting next to me just started talking, and I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. Like, guess we're having a conversation.
This is actually happening.
Like stranger to stranger, and like that's like a situation I'm in a lot, and like I feel like for me it's not so much public speaking. It's like I need to like talk to people.
Interpersonal, yeah. That's a big fear for a lot of people too.
Yeah, like it's like
a lot of people
what do you talk about?
Are better at public speaking. Some people, at least, not a lot, are better at public speaking than they are with communicating individually.
Like, individually.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that.
Me.
Yeah, but yeah, where were we before? What's up? You want to speak, Veronica?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. Like,
we'll definitely have you on too.
Yes,
you'll be a special guest next quarter. We're holding you to that.
Yes, please. Anyways,
Veronica,
so
bless
Samah,
everyone.
her mom, by the way, when women...
We're doing this too.
Yes. Oh my god.
You're doing your whole life.
Anyways, her mom won Woman of the Year, actually. Huge award, second time in a row.
Really?
And
time?
It was amazing.
She won it once in like 2006.
Go for that 3-peat.
Dude.
Woman of the Month?
Patrick.
Anyways,
Woman of the Years.
I feel like because she was raised in that environment with her mom where she had to talk to, she had to be respectful in front of adults. She was raised in that atmosphere. She started at a young age. I'm similar. My mom was a realtor, so I was always talking to her clients, going to open homes, like selling a house at age 11, kind of thing. And I really feel like, no, not
Put
actually.
that on your resume.
No, I did not sell a house.
Oh, but you would like tag along with her?
No, I'm just...
It's on the record, Veronica. It's on the record.
It happened.
Our fact checkers are getting the facts.
No, it's just like a cute little girl.
Fake news.
No, it's just like, how can you say no to like a little girl handing you a flyer? Like, oh, this is
Measure B. You're still that little girl handing flowers.
Anyways, anything, if you want to get good at anything, start at a young age. Seriously, that's how you do it.
It's too late.
But even if you don't,
It's never too late.
It's never too late.
But then it's never too late. Yeah.
I am testament to that.
Same
I
here.
was very bad at public speaking all throughout high school, and I was also very socially awkward until very recently. When I came to Foothill, I was scared of opening doors, even to my classes. I would just wait for someone else to open the door, and then I would walk in with
There's
them.
a monster behind the door. Totally.
I've never heard that before. That's really interesting. Why?
Yeah.
Because if there was someone on the other side, you'd have to like.
I would just be scared of conversing with people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, in high school, okay, so like, do you know how like in high school you can be like a TA? Do you guys have that?
Yeah.
So like for my school, you could also be like an office assistant. It's like office assistants, their whole job is like to go to the classes and like distribute if you have to call a student.
Yeah.
So that I just put I put TA on my list, but they made me an OA, office assistant, and literally my whole job was I would have to open, close doors to a classroom, be that one student that walks in when it's all quiet.
Walks across the class.
Yeah, and like gives
to the teacher
something to say. Like it was, the first week was terrible because I hated that. I was like, I hated opening the door. Like everyone's gonna stare at me when I walk in. Everyone's like gonna watch me. Like what if I trip or something?
A lot of those people at my school were just like they were plugged in their earphones and they were just like zombies. Like they didn't they just like walked in with like this like super tired look on their face, gave the
I think that's probably what I looked like.
Might have been like a defense mechanism.
Like I didn't know what, like, are you supposed to smile? Like what do you do? So like I just had like a poker face, like.
Yeah, no, I'm testament to it's never too late either. I was so bad at public speaking. It was I would purposely not take classes if they had like one or two presentations in it. And when I was on the East Coast at school, there was like this major that I really wanted to transfer into because it was like a cross between CS and business kind of thing. It was called information systems. And I looked at some of the classes and they're like, you have to give a technical presentation at the end of the class, or you have to like speak on a panel, or you have to, give a presentation to the teacher or something. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely not going to transfer in. And then finally I ended up doing it anyways. But holy crap. I joined Toastmasters actually 10 months ago or so.
What's
and
that?
it was like, it's like a public speaking club thing. Like it's kind of like a Boy Scout troop
Like
in the
through
way it's
Foothill?
structured. No, it's like, I do it with Ibrahim.
It's a national
and-
thing.
Oh.
Yeah,
They
it's a
have
national
chapters
thing. They have
everywhere.
chapters. It's like that, yeah. So you like open up a chapter. I didn't open one, but I just joined an existing one. There's a bunch around here. I definitely recommend it for anyone who's afraid of public speaking. It's like a really supportive environment to just like practice, because like part of like getting rid of the nerves is just like doing it. And I just like would avoid it, so I would actively avoid it, so like I never really did it. And like yeah, it's just like I think it's a great Toastmasters has been awesome. It's just super supportive. Everyone there is like working on developing their public speaking or getting over any fears they have. It's also super good for interpersonal communication too, because it helps you learn how to articulate your ideas in like a safe place. And that totally translates to like interpersonal communication too, because if you can articulate your ideas better, then there's less likely to be miscommunications, or you're more confident with things.
Shout out to Sean from going from
zero to
100,000 audience on his podcast.
100,000.
Let's go. We're going viral. What were you gonna say, Veronica?
Well, I mean, I was just going to ask how you even got involved in that and who is a part of it, how many people, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so they're like independent. They're independently run, and you just kind of show up to meetings. Like we have guests like every week, and I can totally bring you guys if you want to go.
Let's go.
Field trip.
It meets at 6:30 in the morning on Tuesdays.
Oh my god. Let's not
no,
go.
hold up. What, you just talked about it. No, but
so
like there's
early.
like 10-ish clubs within like 15 minutes.
You can wake up at 4:30, Samah, and walk, drive from Fremont.
A lot of companies have them too for their
I'll
employees.
start a
especially
Fremont chapter.
Yeah, Fremont. I'm
Probably
sure there's
have
already
one.
like
Pretty
20.
sure they have
There's
one.
so many Toastmasters clubs. It's ridiculous. But people don't talk about it as much. I don't know why. But
Yeah, I've
my
never
dad
heard
told me
it.
to join. He was like, yeah, there's this thing called Toastmasters. You can learn how to give toasts and speak. Not give toasts, but like
Eat toast.
eat toast in the
The
morning.
whole purpose.
Super early in the morning. But yeah, so you just learn how to speak. Yeah, and it's like super chill. You just I walked in the first day. I was very nervous because I was like, yo, I gotta speak. But sly on a rug, just taking Snapchats.
Do it for the snap.
Do it for the snap. But then you just show up, and then they were super inviting. They're like, hey, what's up? And then I just it's pretty cool.
So I have a question for both of you guys. Do you guys still get the nerves sometimes?
Absolutely.
Like in what?
Like every time. Like right now. Like
Speaking.
Yeah, like in the exactly what I told you, like social situations. Like this is a week ago when I had to talk to somebody, and I was like,
I get that too.
I was getting flustered. I was like, I don't want to talk to strangers, but I'm gonna have to talk to
Stranger
strangers. I just
I definitely get nervous.
I mean, I don't think I get
kinda like a
I don't
bad-
get nervous public speaking anymore. But
Even if it's like
I think I would rather
Yeah.
have that than the social situation thing, though.
even if it's like in a group of people that you don't know, or like a big group of people.
Okay, like what Veronica said is kind of true. Like I've been in these situations since I was pretty young.
Mhm.
Like my mom would like drag me to like city council meetings and shit. And so
okay.
like I've been in that like atmosphere. And like in high school, I was in this program called We the People. Actually, like I want to talk about it. That was like the best part for me in high school. It's what got me into politics.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's instead of taking AP Gov, that's just what it's called. But you get AP Gov credit,
Mhm.
and like it's a competition. So like it's a class of like
Okay.
30 something students, and there's 6 units. So like every unit is given like a portion of the Constitution to like basically like memorize, analyze. Like you just have to like know it by heart
Yeah.
and like understand it. And so like my unit was the last unit, and our unit was supposed to tie everything together and connect it to like current.
Yeah.
So like how does the Constitution apply to today? And like that sounds we were in the high school nerds.
Big task.
No, we were like if you think of like nerds in high school, like we were it. It's just that like we had like people in sports, and we had like ASB
Yeah.
people. Like it was like there
The
wasn't
We the People group?
there wasn't actually a
Is that what you're talking
stigma. Yeah, no, there wasn't
Yeah.
actually a stigma. Like anyone, like nobody felt embarrassed to join, which
Yeah.
I thought was great. But like what we did was like epitome of like nerds. So
Yeah.
like we would be like spending our lunches reading
Not
the
a bad thing.
Constitution.
You look like a
Yeah, no, like we would spend our lunches reading the Constitution.
Oh, God.
No, but like and then we would compete with other schools in California, like all throughout the state. And so like it was like debates, like they would ask us a question, and like
cool.
our judges were like mayors and like congressmen and stuff. Like it was like,
you argue on
it's
like,
a pretty
is this unconstitutional, is this constitutional?
like like we would be giving a question, like for example, like anything about today, like Trump's administration, they could ask something about that, like, do you think this is constitutional? Give us examples. Why not? And like you'd have to actually prove it, like through facts. And like it was just it was public speaking for sure, because you have an audience. When you compete, there's like hundreds of people watching you, and like it's like on a state level, so like it's a pretty big deal.
So that's where you get your debating and argumentative skills.
For sure. Like
Argument.
I like
now I know I always lose.
I think I was more like if I disagreed with someone, I didn't always like say it. And then like
so
after that
express
class,
yourself.
like I've like
Stand up for
become
yourself.
way more like vocal about my
I
opinions.
totally agree. I think it's
like,
so important. You don't have to be like you don't want to be overly vocal about your opinions and like imposing on other people. But like it's so important to stand for like what you believe in and like figure out what you believe in. Like in high school, I didn't express myself at all, and I felt like my high school was very outspoken. Whenever we had a lot of issues with mental health, and whenever a big incident would happen, someone would commit suicide, or there would be like a scary note or something, people would talk about it on Facebook. Even like political events that were in the community or in the U.S., people would like post about it on Facebook. I remember I just would read all these posts, and I didn't have anything to say really, because I didn't know how to articulate my ideas, and I kind of felt bad about myself because of that, and it kind of like it like hurt my identity in ways. But I think now that Foothill has really given me a chance to start exploring like my expression and like how to kind of form my own opinions on things. I was too agreeable. I think I didn't stand up for what I believed in. I didn't even know where to start. I didn't even know if I had an opinion on a lot of topics, so I couldn't engage in a lot of these interesting discussions. And I think it makes your life a lot more fulfilling if you're passionate about a lot of things and passionate about different controversial topics.
Like don't just be part of something and like not be active,
it's fun to be active and to be very engaged in current events, and obviously you can't be engaged in everything, you can't be aware of everything, but things that you're passionate about, it's fun to have those things that you gravitate towards.
It's interesting how
gives you direction.
It's interesting how you guys got your passion for speaking and for arguing about your views and things from institutional organizations that you guys found somewhere. You got Toastmasters
helped a ton. How about you?
In my high school, this is probably something I should have mentioned earlier, but in my high school we had almost 0 clubs.
Really?
And
4,000 kids, 0 clubs.
Yeah.
Like were clubs not a thing, or people?
It was
were
just not a thing.
lazy?
It was just not a thing. And if somebody tried to do something, people were just too lazy. Like, no one would show up. It would be one person. I mean, even student council was pretty lame.
So what did people do? Like, were there extracurriculars and stuff?
Everybody would just play soccer.
Okay.
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that. But the thing that was lacking from my high school a lot was being able to debate or argue over, important things, and learning these skills of debating and public speaking. I mean, in my last year in high school, I was president of my student council, and I was one of 2 people in student council.
What? So there was the vice president?
It was just me and the vice president, and the vice president was super lazy, so I would do everything.
Whoa, you're president. That's awesome.
I was.
President Farooq.
But, so that's the thing.
That makes so much sense now.
Yeah, I know.
But the funny thing is, I was a senior, technically a senior, and I was president of student council. But when I would talk to kids who were like in the 8th grade or 9th grade, I would be scared talking to them because I was just super nervous and super shy. The only people I felt comfortable talking to was people in my grade who I knew for a long time.
Yeah, I get that way too.
And teachers.
A lot of people, yeah.
So, I mean, but the place where I did get a lot of chances to develop my debating skills and argumentative and kind of like critical thinking was in my family, because everyone in my family, I mean, most of them are just like engineers and doctors and stuff, but everyone loves arguing in my family. So whenever there's like a big family get together or whatever, there's always one big debate about something.
Dude, is this
That's
like
exciting.
a Pakistani thing? This sounds like my brother's.
Yeah, I think it is. That's just what people do there. They have like evening tea and they have these debates about how things should be happening in the world. And,
Oh, no, that's
and
different.
that's where it starts from, and then you can go to anything and anywhere.
My brothers, they like, I feel like they try to one up each other, like, because they're 3 years apart, and like
How old are they?
One's 28, and the
Oh,
other
yeah.
one is 31. Okay, so like they're super competitive. Like if one of them says something and the other one disagrees, they'll like argue for like 5 minutes, and then they'll like be like shut up, and then they'll go to separate corners and Google the answer on their phone, and then like whoever's right will just like gloat for like the next 24 hours.
That's
Like
so
this
funny.
literally happens like every day. Like every time we're in, well, we don't live together. Like we all live in different places, but like every time we come together as a family, like that's expected. And like I feel like that's like a Pakistani thing or
it is.
something. Like
No, it is.
Like why does everyone so
I've seen a
competitive?
lot of like family kind of like big debates. It's like super heated about something pretty stupid, but it's just because you believe in something and you're just like, no,
It's
I will
passionate,
prove you wrong. And that's
That's
kind
like us.
of, we're always having these debates.
Let's
And,
have one right now.
I mean, I think we're having,
Yeah, I mean, you're having
we're sort of having one.
Kinda. You guys are agreeing for once on something. What the heck is
We're-
this? Are you guys
Are
okay?
we?
Ah.
You're agreeing that there's very heated debates
Yeah.
within your families.
Now I don't want to agree.
Yeah,
Now-
Now
now you're
now
just
I
for the
want to
sake of
disagree.
we're disagreeing about agreeing. This
Sorry,
is,
are you guys related? Like-
No, we're just from the same country.
It seems like.
technically.
Yeah.
Why did everything become so quiet?
I don't know.
Is that how powerful,
God bless everyone.
is that how powerful Veronica's thing was? She made everyone shut
Vote
up.
for Measure B.
They're cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
We
course.
could be.
Yeah, we could be. We have the same last
But
name.
we're like,
gang,
what?
gang.
No, we're what?
I mean, but like half the country has the same last name though.
Wait, you don't have the same last name as me? What?
He's so
Shaiq and Farooq.
No, I'm just messing with you guys.
Ends with Q.
Also, nobody spells theirs like we do. Like I haven't met anyone that spells their last name like me.
Really?
Also, we're from different sides of the
Okay.
country.
I know,
I'm from
I
the
know.
north. You're from the
My family's like immigrants from India. Anyways, they're not even like
Are there
originally
even
from Pakistan.
Pakistani food place? Pakistani food?
Oh, there's so many here.
I really.
Fremont.
I love.
Yeah, you have to go to Fremont for that. I have to give it.
There's
to you.
there's a place called
what is
Shalimar.
Pakistani food? Is it curry based and is there a lot of lamb or anything?
It's not really curry though.
It's not
Curry's
Is
like-
it similar to Indian food?
Curry is a
No.
Thai thing. Can I just say?
Yeah, curry started.
Curry
like,
is not an Indian or Pakistani
Yeah.
thing. It's like Thai thing.
Japan has really good curry too. Curry
Yeah, because
katsu
curry
and
is
stuff.
like milk based. Like there's milk
Beef
in
curry.
curry. And like in
Yeah,
our
Sri Lanka.
food, there's not really
Isn't
milk.
there butter and milk in like in a lot of Indian curries? At
That's-
least the ones
that's
we
just
buy
the one,
here.
That's the one that's popular here.
Yeah, I don't know. That's maybe American.
Like chicken
Yeah,
tikka
too.
masala.
Yeah,
And
okay,
well,
well,
butter
yeah.
chicken.
What about
yeah.
like sagaloo?
Butter
Come on, that's
chicken.
like that's more. That's
Saag
more,
aloo is that's more authentic.
More
Yeah, I don't
authentic,
know what
yeah.
that is.
Oh my gosh,
That's
spinach and
not
potatoes.
authentic.
Spinach and
so
potatoes.
good.
Wait, what did
I
you
love
call
it.
it?
Saag aloo.
Oh,
You
I
wouldn't
mean, I
think
know
it would
olives.
be good,
I
but the
don't know.
spices they put in there is so
Oh.
good. If you get a place that makes it well, oh my gosh. Yeah. So what is?
My mom.
That's
I
yeah.
don't know.
No, the best traditional food is homemade food.
Yeah, I
like
bet.
hands down. It's like you can't even argue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm yeah. wish my
I can
mom
make you
could
guys
make
Pakistani
me.
food sometime.
Yeah, we should have a little potluck.
Yeah.
Kason,
Is leaving
Derulo
the
is
room.
out.
Kason Derulo.
Like it.
See ya
Bye, Kason.
on the marketing board. Beautiful man. Okay, I mean that was pretty long.
That was
That
quite
pretty
long.
productive. I think it's it's gonna be
I have
the
been
longest
here
one
for.
yet.
I was
but,
supposed to leave an hour.
Really? Well,
I mean, I don't
you
have
missed
to be
traffic,
anywhere. It's just
or-
no. It's
You're-
traffic
never
until
mind, it's
7
rush hour,
now.
so you got more traffic.
Okay, we
I'll
can
just
talk until
stay-
7.
I'll
Let's
just
talk
stay
until 7.
fine.
We should definitely do this again. I hope you guys had fun. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks
Everyone's
for
like super
having
unique, and you
us.
don't know until you talk to them. I think this is like
You
one
have
of
to,
the
like, talk
goals
it
of the
out, yeah.
podcast, like to make the student body of Foothill more relatable, more transparent. I know we were talking about like a lot of people are going through their own stuff, but people don't talk about it a lot. So this is kind of a way for. Obviously, you're not going to open up your most personal.
Like, no,
secrets
you're
in
not
here,
alone.
But everyone's unique. Everyone's got their own issues. Everyone comes from a different place. Everyone's got their own journey through college,
And there's so many things you don't know until you start talking about something else.
Exactly.
You start talking, and then one thing leads to another, and then you discover so many things about yourself.
Just start. Exactly. This is as much a learning experience for me and you guys as it is for everyone who listens.
And
Hopefully
one day we're gonna interview Sean
Yes.
Huang,
No.
Sean MP.
the secretary.
McPherson.
Yeah, interview me. I mean, it's conversation, right? So,
Yeah,
But yeah.
like you interviewed us today.
kind of conversation to you guys.
Conversation does.
Yeah, I
Stop
dialogue with y'all.
arguing, Basil.
Gosh, you guys just want to
Sorry,
argue
it's in
all
my
the
blood.
time.
I'm sorry.
But this wraps up the episode, and we'll definitely have these three over here, Veronica Bliss, Anurag Shrestha, and Sonia Beckstrom on the show next time.
Very,
Thank
very
you. Special
special
effects. We got our stuntman, Anurag. We got our meditation and tango expert, Veronica Bliss. And we got our Swedish linguistical expert and
professional
cross-country
lapper.
skier, professional lapper.
And then there's just Sean.
And then there's just me, just an average dude with a below average life and terrible friends.
Putting yourself down. Come on. You're the best one here.
I'm gonna cry. I wish we had video of this to capture my tears. Okay, episode 6 is concluded.
Peace out.
Squad.
When does it turn?